The lighthouse loomed before me, tall and cold, like a silent sentinel guarding the secrets of the island, its dark beams cutting through the gloom. It was said that whoever gazed upon this light would have their life cursed. Would I find out if it was true? As I moved closer to the island, the sea grew rougher. Waves crashed against the boat, rocking it violently, as if the ocean itself was warning me to turn back. But I pressed on, compelled by an unseen force towards my doom. The salty spray of the sea stinging my face, the cries of gulls pierced the air, mingling with the pounding of my heart. This was no ordinary island. This was Poveglia. The island's name carried with it the whispers of tragedy and despair. It was a place where hope came to die and where the dead refused to rest. The stories I'd heard in hushed tones by flickering candlelight now echoed in the chambers of my mind. Legends of plague victims left to rot, of the insane driven to madness, of the souls trapped between worlds. I was about to enter the realm of the damned. The boat scraped against the rocks, and I stepped onto the pebbled shore. Behind me, the sea surged, crashing against the rocks in a symphony of discontent. Before me lay the island of Poveglia. It was a desolate landscape, windswept and grey, under a sky the color of old bruises. The wind moaned through the skeletal trees, their branches clawing at the leaden sky. The island seemed to exude a palpable sorrow. The ruins of buildings huddled together as if seeking solace in their shared misery. A crumbling wall here, a shattered window there, remnants of lives lived and lost. The very stones of Poveglia seemed to weep, each one a silent witness to unspeakable horrors. In the distance, I could hear the mournful toll of a bell, its sound heavy with despair. The bell of Poveglia, they called it, a knell for the condemned. A chill snaked down my spine. Despite the mild autumn day, goosebumps erupted on my skin. Fear, raw and primal, stirred within me, urging me to flee. Yet I stood rooted to the spot. The bell's haunting resonance echoed in my chest, a drumbeat to the horrors that awaited. The path ahead was overgrown, choked with weeds and fallen branches. Thorny bushes clawed at my clothes as I pushed through, their thorns pricking my skin like icy fingers. The deeper I ventured, the heavier the silence became, a suffocating blanket stifling any sound. The air grew thick with a cloying sweetness, the stench of decay masked by an cloying perfume of honeysuckle. I stumbled upon a clearing, and there it stood, looming against the bruised sky. The lighthouse. It was a monolith of solitude, its stark outline jagged against the fading light. Its windows, empty sockets, stared back, devoid of any warmth or life. As I approached, the stench of the sea grew stronger, mingling with the sweet decay. The lighthouse was not merely a structure. It was a tomb, a monument to lost souls. I reached out to touch its rough stone surface, and in that instant, a jolt shot through my arm, as if I'd grasped a live wire. The pain was searing, yet it vanished as quickly as it came, leaving behind a tingling numbness. I recoiled as if burned, my gaze darting round for the source of the shock. Had I imagined it, or was the lighthouse testing me, gauging my resolve? A low rumble echoed from within, like the growl of a slumbering beast. Was it the wind, or was the island itself stirring, awakening from its long slumber? With a deep breath, I steadied myself. There was no turning back. I was committed to uncover the secrets of the lighthouse, to peer into the abyss of its soul. The door to the lighthouse stood ajar, a silent invitation to step inside. As I pushed it open, a musty smell wafted out, the odor of aged paper and brine. Inside, a spiral staircase rose into the gloom, its steps beckoning me upward. Each step creaked ominously, as though protesting my intrusion. I began my ascent, each step taking me deeper into the belly of the beast. The air grew colder, the silence heavier with each turn of the stairs. The lighthouse was not merely a structure, it was a mausoleum of memories, each room a testament to the island's tragic past. The first room I came across was bare, save for a heavy wooden table and a single chair in the corner. The chair was old, its back askew, and the table was scarred with what looked like burn marks. The second room was a study, lined with shelves holding dusty books and strange instruments. Charts covered in arcane symbols were pinned to the walls. In the center of the room stood a large telescope pointing accusingly toward the window. What secrets did it hold? What mysteries had it unveiled? As I moved deeper into the labyrinthine structure, the atmosphere grew denser, as if the very air was thick with sorrow. Faces seemed to peer out from the shadows, their eyes hollow and haunting. The walls themselves seemed to whisper stories of woe, tales too terrible to be spoken aloud. The higher I climbed, the more oppressive the silence became, until it was a tangible presence pressing against me, suffocating me with its weight. The final ascent was a spiral to the top of the lighthouse, the keeper's domain. Here, amidst the maze of gears and pulleys, I found the key to the lighthouse's mystery. A logbook lay open on a desk, its pages filled with cryptic entries detailing not just weather patterns, but also the lighthouse keeper's descent into madness. His paranoia bled through the ink, each word a testament to the island's insidious influence. The lighthouse wasn't just a beacon for ships, it was a prison for the mind. The keeper, isolated and tormented, had become a prisoner of his own fears and the island's whispers. As I read, the wind outside grew more violent, battering against the glass, mimicking the turmoil in the keeper's mind. The last entry spoke of voices, of shadowy figures dancing at the edge of his vision. Then the writing became frantic, the sentences jumbled, mirroring the descent into madness. The final words, scrawled in a shaky hand, sent a chill down my spine. The island is alive. It feeds on my fear. The light calls to me, and I must answer. Outside, the storm reached its crescendo, the wind screaming like a banshee, waves crashing against the tower with renewed fury. I descended the spiral staircase, each step echoing the chaos in my mind. The lighthouse, with its secrets laid bare, seemed less a beacon and more a tomb. I fled the island, the cries of the storm mingling with the echo of madness. As I reached the shore, the wind snatched the logbook from my hands and tore it to shreds. The pages danced on the breeze, carrying the keeper's tormented words out to sea. I didn't stop running until I reached the safety of my boat. Looking back, I saw the lighthouse, stark and cold against the raging sea. Its light, though, was absent, leaving only a gaping blackness where the lantern had hung. The island of Poveglia, cloaked in storm, seemed to gloat in its victory. As I rowed away, the sea growing calmer, I knew I'd escaped, but the lighthouse's final words echoed in my ears. The island is alive. It feeds on my fear. The light calls to me, and I must answer. Had I really escaped its clutches, or was the island's grasp tightening around my soul? Now, years after that harrowing experience, I can still feel the phantom touch of its icy fingers on my skin. Sometimes, when the wind whispers through my window on still nights, I swear I can hear the mournful toll of the lighthouse bell, a summons to the damned. If you ever find yourself drawn to the desolate shores of Poveglia, heed my warning. The island's embrace is cold and unforgiving. The lighthouse beckons, but its light will only lead you to despair. For Poveglia is not just an island, it's a tomb, a mausoleum of lost souls. And once it lays its claim on your heart, there is no escape from its eternal winter.